What's happening, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's going on? What's up, partner?
I'm doing fantastic.
You got your blue shirt on your blue background.
Yeah. uh,
Good, that's good. How's everybody doing this morning? Good to see you guys. We have an amazing flight school lined up for you today. You've seen the promos. We've got FxRich. We've got, didn't we give Diana a new name last week?
I don't know.
Come back to me. Everybody remembers her name, bring it back to me. If not, we'll have to give her a new one. But we got Lady Diana, who is going to, our Bitcoin goddess, who's going to be on here today with FxRich, and they've got some great stuff lined up for us today. Yes. But in the meantime, let's see who we can see. Let's see who we can see out there. All right. Good morning, Stina. How are you? Or good afternoon for you. For you, it's the afternoon, right? Absolutely. Kia, what's happening? How are you, my love?
I'm doing amazing this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm great. I'm great. You're amazing. I'm great. And there's Yvonne. What's up, Yvonne Turner? How are you?
I am fantastic. I'm dropping things all over the place, but I am fantastic.
Oh, man.
Mark, good morning. I forgot to tell you.
What are you dropping?
My mouse. Not a good thing to drop.
No, that's not a good thing to drop.
Well, I had to get some coffee in my system.
I understand. I understand. I got mine right here. All right.
I've got mine too.
Becky Rayburn, how are you, my love?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good, good. Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh my God. Stina's an overachiever. She's already done a kilometer of swimming today. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yes. That's a lot of swimming. What's up, Jerry? How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
Not camera ready yet, but fine.
All right. Well, no worries. No worries. Lewis Barnes, L Boogie in the Heezy. What's going on? How you doing?
What's going on, T. Gray? Good morning, Mark Kickhart.
I like that background.
Yeah,
Thank
man.
you, sir.
Right?
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for what you do.
Man, glad to see you, man. Thank you for being here this morning.
Yes, sir.
We got Michelle Jacobs in the house. What's up, Michelle? How you doing?
I am doing well. How are you, T. Gray? How's everyone?
Great. I'm with my friends. How can I be anything less than great?
That's right. That's right. Hey, Mark.
Hey, what's up?
All good over here.
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. Then we got Dorcas. What's up, Dorcas Riddick? How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Hi, Mark.
Hey, what's up?
Nothing but life.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Life. That's what I'm talking about. Michelle Wheeler's in the house. What's up, Michelle? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing, T. Gray? Today I'm at a family reunion in Oklahoma City. So I have my little family reunion t-shirt on and just got me some breakfast. So I'm ready to go.
Looking good. It's a family reunion. Send us some barbecue through the screen there.
Oh, I'll try.
I might get a little messy, but if you can get it through, I'll beat it.
Okay.
Pat Pamplin. Okay, hold on a second. I swear to God, I know you're in an airport or a runway for a jet. What are you doing, Pat?
I'm actually on a train. I'm in New York, and I just got back from Paraguay and Sao Paulo, Brazil. So I flew into JFK this morning. So I'm on my way to my hotel. So, but I'm joining.
Nice.
First of all, I want to say you're just amazing for joining from the New York City subway. I think that's absolutely phenomenal. First of all, I mean, I rode this New York City subway for my entire life, and to be at a time when your cell phone doesn't just work for calls, but you can get video on the subway is saying something about.
I'm actually on the Long Island Railroad, but it's 6 of one, half dozen of the other.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Awesome. But secondly, now that we got that little piece of pleasantry out of the way, and I'm glad to see that you're feeling better.
Feeling a ton better. Thank you so much.
Oh, I'm glad for you. But yeah, you're about to get in trouble because you forgot our little arrangement.
What arrangement?
You just said all these places you just came from, and do you remember the deal we had about who was carrying your bag? I didn't get to go to any of those places, which means I didn't carry your bags.
What can I say? I'll put it on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am. Don't forget, man. I mean, I'm hired and fired just that fast.
I tell you real quick, my nephew was the flag bearer for our country at the opening ceremonies for the Junior Pan Am Games. So I'm just thoroughly thrilled for him.
Oh, man, that's absolutely phenomenal.
It's amazing.
All the more reason that you shouldn't have had to carry your own bags.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you're safe, and that is such an honor. And I'm also glad you're better.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. Brenda Strozier, what's going on, Brenda? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Man, I think Brenda's trying to trick us today. Because Brenda always comes to the call. She's always all dialed up. But right now, all we can see is her neck. Down here, pajamas. I'm telling you, it's pajamas, everybody.
No, I'm up and dressed.
No, I'm teasing you, man. I'm teasing you. All right, Mary Foxworth, how are you?
Good morning. Good morning. I am good. How about yourself?
Doing so good. Doing so good. Look at that smile. It's just like jumping through the screen. Love it. Love it.
Well, it's good to be here with you all.
Good to feel your energy this morning, Miss Mary.
All right.
Awesome. And then Ms. Sumter, how are you doing? Good to see you.
I'm great. I'm great. I'm so glad that I'm able to get on today. Normally I'm working at this hour, so I am here ready to listen and learn.
Well, we love that you're here with us today. We do. So thank you for being here. What's up, Cynthia? How are you?
I'm doing absolutely fabulous. Let me cut my phone off. I had two devices going on. But I'm doing great.
Microphone check. Microphone check. I'm glad to see you, Cynthia. All right. Diana, I see you in the chat. And what I want you to, talking about how the proximity of where you live versus where Pat lives. And I want you to know that I'm onto you. I know that is just kind of like a little underhanded play. You're trying to take my bag carrying job because you're trying to play the proximity card.
Not at all. Not at all. There's a Hurricane 4 that is Hurricane Aaron that is circulating. And the weathercaster, I don't usually look at the news, but they showed a map and it had Bermuda on the other side of Columbia, South Carolina. And I was like, oh, Pat's just a swim away.
We're 700 miles from Cape Hatteras. We're 700 miles from Cape Hatteras on the same latitude.
If Stina is swimming, then it's just a swim away.
Very true.
Listen, you swim your little
but you
self.
got the job of the bags.
You swim your little self away from Bermuda, okay? Because I'm the bag carrier. You leave it alone. Leave it alone. Just swim someplace else. Swim to New Jersey or something. Leave it alone. Go.
What are you trying to do? Kill me?
Go visit Kia in Charlotte. Swim over there. All right. Well, see you guys, everybody. We're excited to have you here. We have an incredible flight school. A few weeks ago, we said that we were going to do a trading based flight school, and that's it. It's today. So I know that FxRich and Diana have worked hard all week on putting something together for you. And I saw little bits and pieces of it, and it's going to be absolutely fantastic. So Mark, let's get our business done and out the way so we can get. All right. Well, disclaimer time. These jokers going to talk about money today. Yes, you can make money. How much you going to make? Ask yourself, because we don't know how much work you're going to do, what kind of student you're going to be, how consistent you're going to be. But does it work? It absolutely does. Will you work it? That's for you to answer, right? So hopefully you answer in the affirmative, not just by words, but by actions. All right, let's keep it popping. That's our disclaimer. And it's time for our announcements.
All right, MK, coming to you from the flight deck. Let's pull up the slides. Flight School. FxRich and Diana Hardy take over Flight School this week. They're going to teach you all about trading. Stay connected with the WhatsApp community, iboomnation.com. Go there, fill out the information. Telegram, search at Ibüümerang and click join. Chargebacks. If you charge back, you will be terminated. However, you can go to iboomhub.com/downloads and download the multiple use credit card form. Do not give your funds to anyone for trading. Ibüümerang will not be held responsible for your loss of funds. Don't do it, folks. The Rank Up movement is built for one thing, taking you to the next level. Proven duplication systems, leadership training that works in the real world, tools that crush your next rank and keep climbing. Your rank is not a dream, it's a decision. The movement has started. Are you in? Training call and recordings are now on iboomhub.com. The YouTube playlist is live. It's right at the top, folks. youtube.com/iBoomerang. Profit Snatcher testimonials now in Rank Up. Log into Rank Up. Click prospecting videos. Click Profit Snatcher testimonials. Grab the link and send it. And you got to match up the prospect with the presenter. Send us your Profit Snatcher wins and Trade Buddy video testimonials. Send your Elevate and Trade Buddy testimonials to written profitsnatchers@elevate.com. TradeBuddyTestimonials.com for the videos. Bitcoin and Beyond with Diana Hardy. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. Profit Snatcher schedule. Profit Snatchers Americas every first and third Wednesday of the month, and that's 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is the only call today, folks. MK coming to you from the flight deck.
Solid work, sir. We appreciate that. Great job with the announcements. We appreciate it. We appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right. I think we have a couple more slides before we get to our featured traders.
The Blue Zone.
Blue Zone. That is where we are. It is the 16th. We're dead center in the Blue Zone, organizing the way you build your business by times of the month. You're kind of making a season out of each 10 days of the month is a great way to create rhythm in your team that leads to results. The 11th to the 20th is the Blue Zone. It's time for massive sponsoring coming out of the White Zone, which was massive exposure. What are we doing during the Blue Zone? We're following up like crazy people. Follow up, follow through. Here's my best tip on how to do that. Schedule it. Put it in your calendar, and that way you will do it. What are the keys to effective follow-up? Stories, stories, stories. Don't fact people to death. Don't vomit all over them. Tell them stories of other people, and that's going to resonate way more than just facts. You want to leverage timing and positioning and all that kind of great stuff. Three-way calls and follow up until they get in, they become a customer, they leave you alone, they tell you leave me alone, or they die. All right. What do you do when new people join? I see you, Rich. I see you laughing. You're like, T. Gray actually said it. I did. I said it. Now, what do you do when you get new people in? You want to help them get immediate results. What's immediate results look like? Help them get their first 2 customers right away. Help them enroll their first 2 people in their first week, and help them then round out to have a full 10 customers. That's going to get them a nice weekly check. All right. So that's what you want to do when new people join your business. That's the Blue Zone, folks. We do that to the 20th, and then we enter the Gold Zone. We'll talk about that in our next, one of our next flight schools. But in the meantime, Mr. Kithcart, what's Trade Buddy?
Trade Buddy, PS20, the week of 8/11 through 8/15. Gold, 7 trades, 5 wins, 2 losses. Max pips, 650. 72% win rate, profit per one lot traded, $6,027. GJ, 9 trades, 7 wins, 2 losses, 257 pips, 78% win rate, profit per one lot traded, $1,762. UCAD, 9 trades, 8 wins, 1 loss, max pips, 155, win rate 89%, 1,000 profit per one lot traded, $1,146, 25 trades, 20 wins, 5 losses, win rate 79%, max pips 1,062.
Look at that. Michelle Jacobs fast on the calculator. What was that, Michelle? 889.35. That's what you could have made taking all those trades at a one lot. Trade Buddy has been buddying 79%. And you know who else has been buddying? FxRich every morning with coffee and charts. Can we throw up that coffee and chart slide? Does it come after this? There we go.
Yes. Yep.
Coffee and charts. Thank you, FxRich, for what you do for us every single morning. I know Diana's on there helping you as well. But here's the thing, folks. This is for paid subscribers. All right. So we love having people in our coffee and charts community. We want everybody to be on, but it's only fair. Uh-oh, who's giving the feedback? It's only fair that you pay for it, right? You don't go to the gas station and just grab the handle and put gas in your car and keep rolling, right? And not pay for it. You pay for it. You expect to pay for it. You don't just go to the supermarket and grab a container of milk off the shelf and just walk out the store. I hope you don't. You expect to pay for it. You stop at the register on your way out and say, hey, thank you for this milk. Here's your money. Don't be getting on our coffee and charts and not paying for it. That's bad karma. That's bad karma when you do that. You know that you're abusing a system. So to keep it valuable, we're gonna get more aggressive at identifying who's on there ain't supposed to be on there. You know, meaning you ain't supposed to be on there if you ain't paid. And if you didn't pay, we will be kicking you off of coffee and charts. How can you keep that from happening? Pay a subscription. Right? And if you have an issue or you have challenges paying your subscription, no problem. Send an email to support@iboomerang.com. Contact your upline. They'll contact me. We'll make sure that you can pay so that you can keep getting the goodness. And just think about it, right? At a minimum, as an ambassador, coffee and charts is $149, $150 a month, right? If you're a customer, what was it, $179, right? I mean, come on, just think about it. Is it worth it? How many coffee and charts do you do in a month, Rich? Is that 20?
Have to be at least 20, 5 days a week.
So 20, right? So let's say 150 divided by 20, $7 a flight school. If anybody here's ever been on $7 per coffee and charts, has anybody here been on coffee and charts? Would you say that the insights, wisdom, guidance, knowledge that is given on there is worth a $7.50 admission? If you believe that, put some fire emojis in the chat for me, right? Absolutely. If you believe that coffee and charts is worth $7, $7 a session, less than $40 a week, put some fire emojis in the chat. Absolutely. So let's protect the value. Let's make sure that, now, here's the thing. You know, we had this saying in the Bronx growing up. I think they had it in your neighborhood too. How many of y'all heard snitches get stitches? Right? Well, when it comes to coffee and charts, snitches get riches. So if you see somebody on there that's not supposed to be on there, just let us know. You can let us know discreetly. And here's what we're going to do, by the way. We're going to tap them on the shoulder and say, hey, we see that you're on and you're using this and you haven't paid for it. You know, would you like to go ahead and pay for your subscription today? And if they don't, well, then we're going to kick them off. All right. We're going to kick them off and let them and they can get the value, because it's not fair to the people who pay for people who don't pay to be on there. All right. That's it. Next one. What do we got?
Next event.
Yes. So next weekend, there will be no flight school. Why? Mr. Bugs is going to be throwing down the knowledge at the next network marketing success boot camp. And I think we're going to call it, what do we call it? A challenge now, right?
Oh,
It's going to,
yeah.
there's going to be a challenge, but it's going to be super cool. How many of you guys enjoyed the content and structure we did on the last one? Put some, let me see in the chat, turn your camera on, turn your mic on, somebody talk to me. Me to Mango. Hello? Y'all liked it?
It was a
That
lot
was
of
awesome.
fun.
Yep.
That was great.
It was very engaging.
Yeah, it was great.
It was awesome.
Awesome. Well, guess what? Doing it again this coming weekend, Friday, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central, Saturday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Central, Sunday, 9 a.m. to 12:30, followed by the VIP digital session, which has been insane, right? So if you don't have that, definitely it's worth the upgrade to get that. There were about 40 people on the last time, and it was the questions that were asked and answered were strong. If you have a founders level membership to the community, gold or diamond, your ticket is included. Okay. If you don't, no worries. You can go to holtonbugs.com/summit. Let's get that in the chat, somebody. holtonbugs.com/summit, and you can purchase a ticket there for $100. Okay. And if you think FxRich is worth $7 a session, Mr. Bugs, it's worth several orders of magnitude beyond $100 for a weekend. All right. So absolutely, guys, definitely make sure that you are there. So no flight school next weekend. This is what we'll be doing. Hope you guys will all be there with us. All right. What else do we have?
Okay. There we go.
All right. Hey, look at those smiley faces. It's time. It's time for a trading takeover of flight school. And hold on a second. Yep. Trading takeover for flight school. And we are excited to have FxRich and Diana. Diana, I'm tripping because I feel like I gave you a cool nickname. I came up with it by accident recently. Do you remember what it was? You don't remember either?
I don't know. They've been calling me the Bitcoin Queen, but I do more than Bitcoin.
You do more than Bitcoin? What do you do?
I do everything else. I do Forex. Look, I'm getting paid for everything.
She's beyond.
She's beyond Bitcoin. Bitcoin and beyond. All right. Well, okay. Well, we're going to keep working on this. This is coming. This is coming. Trust me. I'm going to have to get some AI assistance on your nickname, but it's coming. It's coming. We're going to go with, yeah, let's get some ideas in the chat here. Let's get some ideas. What are we going to call? I've heard Bitcoin Queen, but remember, she's beyond Bitcoin. She does it all. She does it all, right? Where's that? I can bring home the bacon and fry it up in the pan. She does it all. So what are we going to call her? Okay, so FxRich and Diana Hardy, soon to have a nickname.
Sure, yes, sir. Okay, do we get promoted to panel?
I think you guys are already co-hosts.
You are.
Oh, okay, all right. Welcome, guys.
So, I call her the queen of Bitcoin.
Yeah. But she, as I say, she done graduated. She's
trade queen, trade queen.
I'm so formal. The queen.
She's big. She's bigger than Bitcoin.
Dynamic Diana.
Woo. All right. Keep them coming. We got Dynamic Diana in the chats there. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Are we allowed to have guests on Flight School, potential partners? Yeah. I mean, if you feel like they can handle Mark's craziness, because Mark gets on he's a nut. He just says whatever, can't control them, gets all excited, just starts rambling. I mean, if we can get Mark under control and do something. So if you feel like your guests can deal with that, yeah, bring it.
No. It's T. Gray. It's T. Gray.
We all know that.
Rich, gotta get this going, man. Otherwise, you already know it's going to spiral.
All right, scrolls are running all over the place. What's up, morning, grand rising all. Welcome to the takeover. All right, we're getting Mark and Tigre out of here, but don't go too far. All right, guys. All right, loving it, loving it, loving it. I know a lot of us on here are also traders, so we're just going to have a nice, we're not going to dive too much into the technicals, but we're going to take a look. I know that, and this is something I wanted to do. I was looking at doing a Sunday class sometime, but how many classes can I do? I'm just doing like a weekly outlook where we'll just come on for like a half an hour or an hour. But with me, that's practically impossible. Just looking at the, we'll look at the pairs that we trade, the dollar, gold, what else do we trade? Bitcoin, oil, and EU. And we'll just do a weekly outlook. All right. And that's what we're going to start with today. Diana, how are you? How are you?
I am amazing. Thank you. One of the things that we'll also share is your mindset, because trading,
bless you,
isn't just about looking at the charts. We know trading is about how you think. And so we'll share some concepts and some ideas about being a trader versus being a gambler. And some of you know what I'm talking about. But, hey, happy to be here, Rich.
All right, all right. And a lot of us, sometimes we're not sure if we're trading or if we're gambling. Okay. And we should do one of those. There was a comedian that used to say, if you do this and you do that, you might be a blank. So we're going to, if you were doing this, you might be gambling. All right, guys. So let's jump into a quick outlook for the week. Let me share real quick. Okay, you know how it is as soon as you want to use technology. And I know, like everything else, guys, I always start with that dollar, because most of the trades, most of the pairs that we trade usually have USD in the front or USD in the back. I know Trade Buddy does GJ, all right, but most of the time, it's either USD in the front or USD in the back, all right? Now, I love the fib, okay? You guys know that. One of my sayings is the fib be telling you, right? So some people say the cloud be telling you, the fib be telling me, okay? So what I do is, I did my markups this weekend. How many of you got your markups in this weekend?
I'm working on them, Rich. I am going to do it this weekend.
One thing I find, when the 15th or the 30th or the 1st falls on like a weekday, we get those markups in. But whenever it's a weekend, we're like, oh, we have until Sunday afternoon. And all of a sudden it's Sunday afternoon, right? All right, guys, but get a quick markup. If you can see, like, we're not going to go too deep into this. We're just going to look to see what's the weekly outlook for. This is the dollar, the DXY. You can see my fib. My fib actually it already came back to that, it came back to that area that I love. It came back to that 618. 667 area, and you see it already started pushing down, right? It came down. This is a new markup, so you see it came down to the buy line and it pushed up. And look, guys, where is it sitting right now? A lot of us know this. If this is blowing your mind, just relax. And all right. But as you can see right now, it is below what we call that imaginary, that psychological sell line called the 236. So what can happen to gold? What can happen to the dollar this week? If it does not break this psychological sell line, this 236, I can see the dollar taking the push down all the way down to the FxRich money line, all right, which is the -1.8, okay? Or remember, the market is going to do 3 things. It's either going to push up, it's going to push down, or it's going to consolidate or range and move sideways. Now, when it's moving sideways, it's still buying or selling, right? But you can get a trend up, a trend down, or you can move sideways, right? So the way I'm looking at it now, guys, there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend. Our president is meeting with Putin, and it's not looking good, all right, at least for the US. So a lot of people, like, when the market opens up, guys, okay, we can open up with a super gap. Right? We can open up with a big gap on the dollar. So, there's a saying, right? Fundamentals trump your technicals every time. All right. There's a big possibility, guys, that there's a lot of fundamentals in the air. So everything I tell you today can be totally wiped out, right? But we're looking at gold either at the dollar, giving us one of these moves, right? They can come back to the buy line. That's a strong support line. And we can push up to this supply zone right here. So we can get a push up to 98.1, or we can get the range, or it can move sideways. So there are three things that can happen, guys. It can push up, it can break and come down. All right. I'm not going to get into too much detail. All right. So, the dollar does EU does exactly the mirror of the dollar, right? So if you're looking at, if the dollar was doing, if I'm looking for the dollar to push down, all right. Oops. Okay, that's what one was trying to say something. As you can see right now, EU is almost in the same position, right? EU did not close below the 236. So there's a possibility that if EU doesn't close below the 236, it can take a run up to this supply zone or the -1.8. But right now it's running into the sell line. So we can get a move like this, come down to the 50. So we can get a push down before we get that push up. All right, guys. So if this is like Chinese to you, all right, we can teach you how to do this. You can learn how to do this in a matter of weeks, months, depends on how bad you want it. All right. So right now, as I was saying, I had the dollar most likely giving us a push up, EU giving us a push down. All righty. All right. Quick outlook on gold. I have a bigger fib on gold. All right. All right. All right. All right. Oops.
All I gotta say is look how clean this chart looks.
Because it's the first, it's a brand new markup. Let's wait until Monday and see what happens.
Hey, so Rich.
Yes, sir.
Let's do this for a second. I remember, let's play this as a game. Does anybody remember the first time you saw this on a screen?
Oh, yes.
Yes, I do.
I want somebody in the audience, turn on your mic. Tell us about the first time you came onto a Zoom trading related and you saw this, the first time you saw this in your life. Somebody tell me your experience. Michelle, it looks like you want to tell us.
Yes, those candles and lines and that fib that he has going, it was foreign. It truly was. I've been on coffee and charts, I don't know, probably over 6 months daily. And I'm just amazed at how all this makes sense to me at this point, where it was like gibberish at the beginning. And like Diana just said, she was like, how clean his chart is, Rich's chart is, because we know Monday morning is going to be zoned up, buy zone, sell zone. But we can see clearly all of the places that price can come back to, all the various lines that he has here. So I am just loving this trading experience.
Man, that's fantastic. I'm glad for you. I'm glad for you. She was like, that first time, she was like, I don't know what this is, right? Anybody else? First time. And by the way, if your first time is today, turn on your camera and tell us what in the world. Lewis,
the first time for myself, just looking at those lines, it could be stressful. I mean, you don't know what you're looking at, but you kind of, to be honest with you, you just kind of zone out and you're like, well, what they're sharing.
Was that a pause or an edit?
I think he zoned out.
He saw the zones and he zoned out.
Oh, boy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Anybody else?
I have to be honest.
Yes.
My very first time, I asked myself, what the hell I'm getting myself into now?
There we go. There's the honesty. I just want to see if anybody else was like me. The first time I saw this, I'm like, what the hell is this shit? Right?
Hey, Greg.
This is...
Yes, I agree with you totally. I totally agree with you.
Hey, Greg, the first time I seen it, I thought I will never be able to understand what they're putting on these charts.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, absolutely. And they sent me as a scout. Remember, Mark? You guys remember you and Holton made me go to the class.
Yes.
Oh,
They figured if T grade can't get it, then it's impossible. And I remember I called them that same night. It was a Sunday night. I'm like, I don't know, guys. I don't know what the hell they were talking about.
Man, and guess what? We learned it. Look, this is what it looks like when it's a naked chart. So this is what you look at. But as I always tell you guys, the institutions and the banks leave clues.
No, Rich. It was marked up.
Okay, I understand.
Put your markups back on there, right?
Yep,
It was marked. But here's like the crazy thing about it. Like, I remember that I knew absolutely nothing. I was thoroughly intimidated.
And that's exactly what
never get it.
But when
But now I can look at this. It amazes me. How many of you are also amazed?
when I first saw FxRich's charts, I thought I was in a physics class. At scared dog totally. I'm like, what in the world? And then he said about this line and that line. And if you can see behind me, I have my whiteboard. So I'm prepared for him this time. So I mark it up on my whiteboard long before I go to my charts, because FxRich used to have me drinking a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee.
Look, I'll tell you, I can relate to that. I used to sit here, and those who've been with me know I used to ask, but what is that? But what is that? But why? I don't understand. I don't understand. And then I told and they kept saying, you will, keep plugging in. You will go to the back office. You will. And look at me now.
Right.
I don't understand all of it, but I'm way ahead of where I used to be.
But not only do you understand it, you're teaching it, right? I mean, like Stina, she just put in the chat. She goes, yeah, she couldn't understand it. And they were talking fast, right, Stina? They had the nerve to be talking fast. Like Richard's like, oh, this is this, like it's nothing, right? But then now Stina is coding. She's coding this stuff now, right? And you know, I was saying before, I look at this and it is no longer foreign. I know exactly what I'm looking at. I know I'm looking at the gold chart. I see FxRich's fib. I see the RSI down below. I know what all these different lines are, and I'm fascinated that I understand what those are. He's putting the moving averages on there now, right? So for anybody who's new and you're seeing this and it's making your eyes hurt and making your brain bleed, I just want to challenge you, just stay in there, right? So we have the hub, and the hub teaches you the basics. And what I found, Rich and Diana, and I'm sure you guys can speak to this, so many people want to skip the basics, right? Right? Those are the people that they buy a new piece of electronics, they open the box, they throw the instructions away and try to go ahead and use the device, right? It would take those 5 minutes to look at the instructions that'll save your whole life. Well, go to the hub, take the basic classes, and this will all start to make sense to you. And then twice a week, Rich does live in the lab, right? The one on Tuesday, I believe, is geared toward beginners.
Yep.
And the one on Thursday might be a little bit more advanced, but if you just stay in the community and stay connected and don't quit, this will come to light for you.
Absolutely. And guys, you can see on the chart, there's a lot of lines, okay? And maybe there might be a zone, right? Those lines are called support and resistant lines. And every 70 to 80% of winning trades is based on support and resistance, and also something called supply and demand. Nothing works. The market is not going to move without supply and demand, right? And you can Google it real fast, you know. And and think about you going to the store. If something is in big supply, you know, it'll usually be cheaper, right? And if something is in big demand, you know, you can buy it easily and stuff like that. All right. But the point I'm trying to make here is all of these lines, like when I had the chart like this, right? There's nothing on it, right? So what we do is, and this strategy we're using is called the E3 strategy. My good friend, Mr. Donnie Pips, got to give him his flowers. He created a strategy, guys, that works on every chart, works on every time frame, works on every pair by just using support and resistance, supply and demand, and the fib, right? Also, the moving averages are also support and resistant lines, but they're just, they're not like straight or stuff like that, but they act like support and resistant lines, right? This strategy, guys, once you learn it, once you know how to mark it up, and that's why you heard me saying markup weekend, we follow the institutions, right? The institutions, if you work for the government, you get paid every 15th and like the 1st or the 30th. So every time around that time, every 14, 15 days, we mark up our charts, right? And those charts are going to give us the clues that the institutions are going to leave to help us know where to enter and where to exit. And as you can see, right, you see almost at every support and resistant line pricing to be coming there and stopping and then going up and whatever. It isn't like we're guessing where the market is going. This is done to a science where every zone or every line is not going to give us the results we want, but enough of them do it that we can be very profitable. So if you know where the institution is going to is going to buy or sell, remember, guys, we are trading with the institutions. We're not trading against them. This is an $8 trillion a day industry. And if we try to trade against them, we'll lose every time. So if we know where they're going to buy and where they're going to sell, we have a very good chance of being profitable, right? So the fib helps me a lot because if the market is trending upward or downward, it's going to create something called higher highs or higher lows or lower highs and lower lows. By definition, if the market is going to create a higher high, for example, if this is the gold chart, right? If gold is going to create a higher high and it's trending up, it has to break the zero on the fib. In other words, it has to do this. If this is your low and this is your high, let me take this off, right? It's going to give us something called a pullback, right? And it likes to come back to certain areas. And you can see that this came right back to that 618 area. That's called the golden ratio. Sometimes it would pull up to the 236, pull back, and then this is creating a higher high. It's breaking the zero and creating a higher high. And normally when it does that, all right, it goes to this, what we call the FxRich money line, which is the -1.8 on the fib, right? And if it's going in the other direction, it's the same thing. So I'm always looking for the market to give me this kind of N wave, impulse, correction, then to take the push up, right? So that's why you would always see me. There's a saying, if you're trading without the fib, shame on you, especially when you learn how to use it, all right? So what we're looking at for gold this week, guys, is, all right, let me take this off, all right? Gold right now is that there's an area you see right now, gold is what we call ranging, right? It's not pushing up or pushing down. So a gold can range in between the 50% on the fib and the 618. But look, guys, look how much this is. From here to here is over 150 pips. So can you imagine if you were able to buy from here, this weekly? This is the weekly low, right? This was the low of the week. Can you imagine buying from the weekly low, right? That's $150, 150 pips. How much? And just imagine price comes back to test this again. That's another 150. And then it goes back up. So, there's a lot of money to be made, guys. All right. Did I hear someone trying to say something? Okay. Okay.
And I just wanted to jump in real quick and say this is an hour chart. So even though that looks like a small move, each one of those colors, each one of those candles is 1 hour. So there's plenty of time to make money in this market.
Right.
Smart.
Thank you. There's something called the ATR. If you look down here at the bottom, it says 6.43. That's each of those candles is moving 64 pips. So every time, this is the average of the last 20 candles, all right, or so. So every candle is moving an average of, in the 1 hour, every candle is moving an average of 64 pips. So every time the hour candle print, it can either go up $64 or 64 pips or come back 64 pips. If you're brand new and you don't understand what a pip is, that's how we're paid. Every time the market is moving, every time the pair is moving, every tick is called a pip, and you can be paid per pip. And there's something called a lot size. Now, I could be in a trade with Tigre, right? I could be trading $1 a pip, and because my account is small. All right. Okay. But Tigre now, he can trade $10 a pip. He can trade.
I wish I could.
All right. You see, so let's say we were both in the same trade. This was 100 and let's call it 150 just for, so math is easy. Okay. So this is 150 pips. Both of us got into this trade. I got in here, he got in here. It came up there. We both take TP. We're doing the TP dance. I walked away with $150 because I am trading $1 a pip. Tigre with his Lambo lot, he was trading $10 a pip. So he walked away with $1,500, guys. So don't think because there's no special trade for the people who make more money. We are all in the same trades. It's just some people might have a bigger lot, might have a bigger account, and their broker would allow them to trade at a higher lot size. Now we know our CEO, Mr. Holton Bugs, he loves gold. And we saw some of the money he makes daily, and he's trading mega lots, right? So he can walk away with millions, right? But we're in the same trade, all right? So don't feel discouraged because you might start out with a small account. What we started doing, and it makes a lot of sense, and we always were saying it forever, we started looking at percentages instead of looking at the money amount. So Tigre and I made the same percentage, right? We made the same percentage on the trade. It's just because his account was bigger, he would probably walk away with more money. So 5%, 10% is the same thing, all right? So right now I'm looking at gold. Possibly gold can consolidate. Look, it consolidated here for a while. So this week, gold can, and I have it. This is a buy fib. Buy fib means that it's pushing up, meaning, and it already came back to that area we love, right? It already came back to that golden ratio, and it already tested the weekly low. So there's a high probability now that I'm looking at gold probably coming up to the 236, which is 33.78. If it closes above that, we're looking at the FxRich money line, which is 34.31, guys. But as I said before, there's a lot of fundamentals in the air right now. And, just be careful in the market this week because we can open up on Sunday with some crazy news, all right?
Hey, Rich, I just want to let everybody know. First, I want to say welcome to flight school, Lydia Tillman, her first ever flight school. So here today. Welcome.
Hey, I'm blowing her mind now. I'm sorry.
Right, she's looking at this like, what the hell, Bobby?
But we were all there, Lydia. We were all there, all right? And in the
I promise you, it wasn't like this last week. It was crazier. But then also, I want to let everybody know, hey, we have a poll going in the thing. I don't know how does it appear for you guys? I know you. You guys, everybody
popped up.
It appears privately. Polls appear privately.
Oh, they appear privately. Okay, so yeah, let's get your votes. The votes are coming in on what we should call Diana. Diana, you remember Diana? Smile. Yeah, see,
we run it
like, what are you talking about? Now you know.
All right, guys.
And good place.
Right, and the great thing about trading, guys, you can trade commodities. You can trade what is called the standard FX pairs, which is like the dollar versus like EU versus the dollar, the euro versus the dollar versus the yen. That's why, and they're usually like USD, JPY, right? You're trading one pair against the other. All right. Just guys, just a percentage move of one is equivalent to like 100 pips. All right, of 0.1, I mean. All right. That might have been over a lot of heads, but just that's why it's a $8 trillion a day business, guys, because just those difference between the currencies could produce a lot of money. All right. And you also can trade what is called, like oil. You can trade the standard pairs, you can trade gold, you can trade silver, you can trade oil. A lot of us look at oil too. All right. You notice how this fib looks a lot what we call tighter than the other one. Sometimes, your fib, and you would learn this, how to tighten up your fib, how to make your fib fit to where you want it to fit. And oil was pushed, like as you can see, I don't think I need to ask you how is oil trending. If you're looking at this, which direction is oil trending?
Now.
Thank you, Mr. T. Gray. All right. Sometimes I know sometimes, like our brains are like, it can't be this easy. It got to be a trick question. But trust your eyes. If I ask you, where is oil trending? And you'll be like, must be telling us it must be a trick, right? Look, it started up here from high and it trended all the way down to low. And now it's trying to make what is called a retracement. So that's how the market always moves. Whenever the market is moving, it doesn't do this. Oh, oops. What happened here? All right. When the market is moving, it doesn't just go to where you want it to go, and that's it. It's going to go up. It's going to.
I hate that about the market.
I know, but if you can.
Why can't it just do what I want it to do?
Because the market don't care what you feel. Your feelings, T. Gray. And we learned that the hard way.
I'm like, get with the program, market.
We learned that the hard way. The market doesn't care about what we feel. But guess what? We learn how to play those pullbacks. So
and the crazy thing about it, Rich, it's funny you should say the market doesn't care about how any one particular individual feels. Yet, this price action is it's a graphic representation of the collective overall feelings of the people in the market.
Right.
It's really all it is. It's a measure of how people are feeling about what a particular item is worth.
That's not just that. If you look at just visually what's going on, the market goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, it goes up. And when we start having our emotions mirroring the market, we'll get ourselves in trouble, because when we go up, the market goes down. When the market goes up, we go down. And so just looking at this, unless we take our emotions out of it, and that's practice, right? Because we're human, then exactly what you're talking about, T. Gray, is exactly how a lot of us feel until we work to just have a better entry and not worry about what's going to happen or what's not going to happen, because we can't control it, but to look at what the market is showing us and put our training into place. I was looking in the chats, and Stina had talked about her best day has been 46% in profit. And so we were having a conversation about being focused and looking at the right entries, looking at what, how you can look at someone. Well, I'm from New York, so I knew when I was about to get a smack. I knew with just the look when I did something that I shouldn't have done. The same thing we do with the market. We need to look and see what the market is telling us, and by all of the confirmations that the market is providing us. And then we know whether or not we should be doing a trade up, buy, or we should be doing a trade down, sell, because we're looking for those confirmations. If that made sense. I see T. Gray saying, where's she going with this?
No, T. Gray is updating the poll.
All right. And you guys can see what T. Gray was talking about was, we call that market sentiment. A lot of people could be at the same spot waiting to buy, and a lot of good people at the same spot waiting to sell, and the market would reflect that. Now you can either do your fib, guys, based on this is the last big drawdown or the last big push down. So if you wanted to fib this big move, and you notice this was the monthly high, right? And price came all the way down, and this would be the low, all right? So that's your fib. And if you wanted to draw the path, I like to do that. That's my impulse. You can see price came back to that psychological sell line, that 236, did not close above, and now we're looking to take a push down, all right? So the whole idea here is we got all of these zones marked up. It's giving us a pretty good idea where oil is most likely going to go this week, all right? Okay, so it's trending down. It's doing something called a retracement. Sometimes you'll hear the word pullback. There's sometimes there could be 3 or 4 words for the same thing because different people have different strategies and they don't want to use the word that another strategy is using. So you may hear the word pullback, you may hear the word retracement, you may hear the word correction. It's the same thing, all right? But if you are using the fib, it's called the Fibonacci retracement tool, meaning it's showing you what the market is doing. If this is trending down, you can see this, right? While this was coming down, you saw this, right? Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, bam, bam, bam. See how it didn't just give you that big line all the way down, right? It was coming down all the way. See that? So it kind of up and down, up and down, up and down. But when you're drawing your fib, right, you can say swing high to swing low and let it tell you what it wants to do, all right? So as I'm just showing you some of the pairs we trade. You're able to trade the crypto, all right? You're also able to trade crypto. You can buy it and hold on to it, all right? Or you can trade it, and it's great. You can do both, all right? So there's some people that, for example, the people that were in Bitcoin when it hit 124.5, which was a new all-time high, a lot of them were, right? All of a sudden, when you hit an all-time high, you tend to get a pretty deep, what you get is a deep pullback, all right? And then you were at 124, all of a sudden you're at 117. But if you're trading it and you were in the sell, Tigre, I called this 2 weeks ago, didn't I?
You did.
All right. I said Bitcoin is coming back on my old fib. This was the 667 or 618. Bam. If you held it, because most people, as soon as they get a drawback, as soon as they get a pullback, they jump out. All right. But if you held it, guys, held it all the way at least to the 236, right? Bitcoin did exact. This was let me show you how much that could have been, guys. If you took it from down here and took it at least to the 236, that's over 9,000 points. All right. If you took it to the all-time high, that's 12,000 points. So just imagine even if you're trading $1 a pip, right? I know. There's a lot of money to be made. All right. But if you don't do the right,
hold on. We need a minute to absorb that image.
Yeah.
I heard that when you can get you've touched someone deep inside.
Diana.
Yes.
Is coffee in charge for $7.50 a session?
I called it. A matter of fact, I called it on flight school about 2 weeks ago. All right. And I keep texting Tigre, you still in that buy? Still in that buy? Okay. All right. But we're not always going to get this type of movement, guys. Sometimes we're just trying to get 20 pips a day. 20 pips a day keeps the job away. If you can compound 20 pips daily, you're doing incredible, guys. And look what the fib is telling us right here. Right? Look what the fib is telling. Let me take this off because people will be ready to jump into this buy where they shouldn't. Oops. All right, let me take this off. Now look what the fib is telling us, guys. Here's our impulse. Swing low to swing high. Where did it come back to? That golden ratio, that 618, and also the weekly low. So what I'm looking now for Bitcoin this week, it is a buy fib. All right, we're running into a supply zone. We might give us a pullback to around this area, but we're looking at maybe going to 21.54, or if we get, some nice bullish action, we can go to 24.5. That's the all-time high. And that ultimate new high is of 26, practically 27,000, guys, 126. All right. So still looking at Bitcoin to buy. But remember, whenever you create an all-time high, you usually get a pretty steep pullback. All right. The pullback already came back to 61%. Right. There's a high probability that we can come back to 78%. And right now, this weekly low is keeping price. Anytime you see a line on the chart, it's either going to be something called support or resistance. If it's above price, it's called resistance. It acts like a ceiling. If it's below price, it's called support. It acts like the floor. So you see this area right here? Let me show you again. Between here and here is 1,200 points, 1,200 pips. So just imagine if Bitcoin decides to range or consolidate in this area for a while, right? This is where you're going to buy. This is where you're going to sell. It's probably going to pull back again. And you notice I have these little red, these green and blue lines. Those are support and resistance lines. And you see how what happened right here, right? Let me make it bigger for you. This is why we do these markups. See, every time price came to this daily support line, it didn't let price close below it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times. All right. And look, and it came up to this 4-hour resistant line. So this is why we put these lines on these charts, because it's telling us what the institutions, where they're going to buy and where they're going to sell. And if you know where they're going to buy and where they're going to sell, let me show you this. If you just traded here, that's 616 points. Let me show you how many times it hit it, right? 1, 2, and now it's heading back up, 3. So that's almost 1,900 points right there, guys. Okay, that's how we can snatch these profits. All right. So you can also trade, and it doesn't always have to be Bitcoin. All right. There are other coins out there that move almost identical, right? Like XRP. All right. XRP is I didn't do my XRP markup. All right. But XRP is the darling right now. There's a lot of things going on with it. There was a lawsuit for like 4 years, and I think they won. Okay. But, it's going to act like Bitcoin. And you can also buy this right now, guys. It's at $3.10. The best time to buy it is if it's below $3. We were buying this since it was like 60 cents or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now people are projecting this thing is going to 10, 15, 20, whatever dollars. So can you imagine if you bought it at now, even if you buy it now at $3?
Right. Exactly.
And it moves to $10. Okay.
Come on with it.
How was that?
Like, come on with it. Hey, listen, check out Michelle Jacobs answering questions in the chat. This was foreign language during the beginning, but yet Antoinette said, what's the difference between pips and lots? Here comes Michelle. Lots is the amount of money you trade, and pips is how much the candle moves. You go, girl, Michelle. That's what I'm talking about.
Ding, ding, ding. All right.
Ding, ding, ding. Get that girl a prize.
And one thing too, we also are able to trade what are called the indices. In other words, we have a pair called US 30, which is the top 30 the top 30 corporations in America or in the world, right? So we can trade them together. And then we have NAS 100, which is the top 100 tech firms. Some of them are like, the top tech firms are also part of the largest businesses, right? So you can also trade the whole thing together. So in other words, we can trade US 30, right? And that's why we do coffee and charts at the time we do it at 9:15, because the stock market opens up at 9:30. And when the market opens up, NAS and US 30 gives us some good pips, some good movement. Now, obviously, the moves at that time, you're going to get a lot of volume and it's going to move real fast. So if you're not used to it, as soon as you hit buy, it's going to sell. As soon as you hit sell, it's going to buy. And you're like, why can't I get this? Okay. Especially if you're new to it. But look at it. If you have the markup if you know what the institutions are going to do, it doesn't matter how fast you're doing it. I'm in the 1 hour right now. This is where most of us are what we call, intraday traders. So we are usually trading in the 1 hour, the 30-minute, the 4 hour is usually the highest we would go. But you can do something called walking your chart, your different time frames. The 1 hour as a new trader is a good place to start. You get good information. As you become more seasoned, it's like driving a car, right? You can go into 5 minute and the speed is not going to bother you. The market is fractal, right? If I go to the 8 hour and I don't tell you that I'm in the 8 hour, will you know that I'm in the 8 hour? Anybody?
No, you won't know. And therefore, you're not speaking the same language.
Right, because the market is fractal, and what it's doing in one time frame, it's doing almost the same thing in the other time frame. This is the 8 hour. All that means is it takes 8 hours for a candle to print. If I move to the 2 hour, see that? All it's telling me is it's taking 2 hours for a candle to print. But you notice, unless I tell you what time frame you're in, or unless you look up here and see it, you don't know, because the market is moving the same way. I can even go to the 5 minute, right? Of course, it's more candles, but it looks the same. You wouldn't know if this is the daily, the 1 hour or not. Each candle now here is taking 5 minutes to print, but it's doing the same thing. It's pushing down, it's pushing up, it's running into zones, it's doing the same thing. So don't get intimidated by which time frame and all that. You're going to get comfortable with a time frame that you like, and you're going to trade that. I like the 30-minute during the morning because we usually get a lot of news at around 8:30. The market opens at 9:30, so a lot of things are happening on a half an hour, guys. So I didn't go into a lot of details about the outlook, but if you guys do your markup, it's going to help you out, guys. So any questions? Any questions?
Great job. I have one question.
Yes, sir.
How are we going to do a tiebreaker on what we're going to call Diana?
It's a 50-50?
And it's still 50-50.
Hey, we can do that at another time. What I'd like to do instead is transition to
what you'd like to do is be the adult in the room? Is that what you want to do?
What I'd like to do is transition to really the hub, right? Because a lot of you, and I've noticed with some of the questions that we have, whether it's on the chat or whether it is in our Coffee and Charts or on our Bitcoin and Beyond, or even our Live in the Lab, what I've noticed is that some of the questions that you have can be answered from the training that's in the hub. And so let me go to the hub here and share my screen. Okay, here is the screen that I'm sharing. And so I'm actually still don't have my webcam correct. I'm still using my computer cam. When you first log into the hub, this is the page. It's the home page, right? There's some information that is of value to you if you just scroll down and you read some of this, right? But what I really want to address is the start here, right? The start here is beginner level, intermediate level, advanced level. There's a reason that we say go to the hub. There's a lot of other things in the hub, but if you haven't come back here, the beginner level, right? The 101 course, FX, your technical, your crypto, this is all beginners. If you click on the course, now some of you haven't been here for a while, right? You can see and review some of the basics. I just helped someone get on to funding a live account and doing trading terminology. Look at this, 3 minutes, right? How about this one? This one is 8 minutes. They're not very long, right? You can actually have toilet training, which means you're in the toilet. You can look at one of these videos. That's a place that you are quiet. There's no disruptions, and you can concentrate for 3 minutes. If you're looking for when can I find the time, right? Here's some time. Just trading a funding account, right? If you don't understand, or if you have some additional questions after looking at that, that is when you bring it. You know, when Mr. Bug says the quality of your questions will determine the quality of the answers that you get. When you go back to the hub and you look at them, now some of them, because of our coaches that are here, some of them may be a little too slow or too fast in their speed. Remember, we're in 192 countries. We're looking to accommodate everybody. And sometimes the rate of speed of your conversation is too fast. You see where you can put subtitles? If you come down here, you can even get a transcript, or you can put it full screen. You can change the volume. You can even change the speed once you hit play. I'm not going to hit play right now, but you can change the speed of how fast the video is speaking. Either slow it down or speed it up. I didn't know that for a long time. And so when you come back out of this, right, you can go back, you can go to technical, right? Technical analysis. The same thing. We've been talking about candlestick. What's a candlestick? The high, the low, the open, the close. This video tells you this, right? We have different part 1, part 2. So get back into the back office, the hub, and go back through this. So when you come to Live in the Lab on Tuesdays for the beginner at 6 p.m. Eastern, and on Thursdays, now we're talking strategies. This is just the beginner course, right? We can now talk, here's the levels, right? How about the advanced course, right? Risk management. I just gave someone an example of my trading plan. If you don't have a trading plan, how are you trading? You know how they say, my background is military. You guys, for those of you who know me, you know that. So if we don't have a plan for where we're going, you can get off course very easily because you don't know where you are going. Your plan, and if you need help with your plan, those are some of the things that you can come and talk about. We're having Bitcoin and beyond today. So some of those beyond questions includes, hey, I've been looking at working on a trade plan, or I don't know where to start. These are some of the questions that you can bring to the beyond part. But if you haven't gone in here and looked, then that tells me that you just want to be handed the information, the fast food, where this involves you really digging in, being serious about your education. Because this education will make you smile every single day, will make your children smile, your children's children smile. So Antoinette, Lydia, some of you newer folks, some of you who had some questions here, let me tell you, this is where when you dig in and it seems overwhelming, this is the time that you can get and slow things down by going to the hub and looking at the training that's in here. Because This, I don't care how many times you look at it and you listen to it, you find so many more things to discover. Here's some, we're in our trading academy, right? Even though some of this has been done a while back, it's still good information. Your trading mindset. Man, I go to this when I've told you guys sometimes, just take a step back. When you're acting like a gambler and your emotions are involved and you're chasing trades, step back. Come to the trading mindset, tips for traders, right? And start listening and looking some of this information, right? This is serious. What we're sharing. Again, you've got content, 26 days of it's really 30 days of mindset training. And he takes you one day at a time. It's still relevant. I just talked to someone who said, I was back in this particular module because they needed to focus on their mind. So I just wanted to remind you, we're on Coffee and Charts all the time. We're on some of our trading and training sessions, but this is now you. This is like your homework. When you went to school, you had homework, right? You had to do something on your own. That's what this is. So that when you come to class, you can fully engage and participate. You can
Hey, so
be
Diana, let me jump in here. I'm going to put these results back up. We did a little poll, right, while you were talking. And so this is really good. I'm glad that you did this because it's even for me a self-indictment. Right. And when you went through some things that in the hub and I'm like, as you're going through it, I'm like, oh, I need to go back and watch that. Oh, I need to go watch that. Man, I've never watched that. I need to watch that. Right. And so when we look at it, most people have completed the beginner level, but didn't progress. You see the fall off. Right. And you see how many people did not complete beginner. Right. And are not consulting the hub, but there is a wealth of knowledge here. Everything anybody needs to know in order to trade, it is there, right? And all you have to do is access it and refer to it and get your money's worth out of it. So thank you, Diana, for walking us through that.
Absolutely. And I know sometimes, people say, Diana, you're harsh. Look, I'm passionate, right? Because I know what you say.
Military. She's military. What? She's military.
Oh, I'm military, right? So I'm passionate and I talk with passion because I understood where I was. And because of the training from the recorded sessions to the live sessions, where I am now. And I want that for you too, but I can't want it more for you.
And Diana, I do want to address that from a psychological standpoint from all of us. Some people, like you said, some people, they say, okay, well, you're harsh. Well, what do you want? Right? At the end of the day, what do you want? You want somebody to guide you to the result, or you want somebody to coddle you? Right? Get your feelings out of it and focus. I'd rather you give it to me straight, no chaser, than put so much sugar on it that I can't find the message. Right? So don't DD, you're right, Driss. Choose your heart, right? So Diana, you keep going the way you're going because and so that's why I said she's military, because in the military, they don't sugarcoat the message. They just tell you what your assignment is. Right? If you get it right, they say, good job, soldier. You get it wrong, they tell you all the different ways you screwed up and what your punishment is. So
remedial training. Let's get it done.
Exactly. And that's what you want, because if you said you wanted to trade because you wanted to make this money. If you want to make this money, just take your feelings off and put them over there on the shelf and let FxRich and Diana teach you. I mean, FxRich has asked me in the past, like, why did you choose that entry? Like, you don't have a fib, do you, Tigray? So, it just is what it is. You want it straight, give it to me straight. Good job, D.
And we had someone we did a really fun event for Live in the Lab this past week, both on Tuesday and on Thursday. And it was a Jeopardy inspired theme to really test our knowledge. And let me tell you, even I got stumped on that just because of how the words and the wording is to really get you to understand if you really truly understand. And there's no time to think when you're talking Jeopardy. So that was a great test of your knowledge in a fun way. And after some of the glitches, we forgave and we just kept moving on. And so it's like, oh, I need to get back in there because I know what I know, but can I articulate that? Michelle did a great job in giving an overview, a simple overview. She didn't say pips were percentage in profits. What does that mean? Hey, how much money are you going to put in? How much does the market move? Remember, new people don't know our terminology. Right. As a military soldier, we have terminology. As a New Yorker, we have terminology. See, when Pat said she was on the train, I'm thinking she's on the train because that's what I took growing up. But when she says I'm on the Long Island Railroad, oh, hold on, wait, that's not the train.
That's outside.
That's outside. So for people who are not from New York or not in a New Yorker, the train is like, if I said I'm from when I'm now that I'm out of New York, I never said I'm from Manhattan.
Right.
What did I say, T. Gray?
From New York, from the city.
Or I'm from the city. There's no other city in the world as a New Yorker. There's no other city except the city.
The city.
You're from New York City. But now being in South Carolina, I've got to say, I'm from New York. They don't care if you're from the city, if you're from upstate, whatever. They don't care, right? And so what you say and how you say it in terminology is important for people to understand you, particularly in the world of trading, because as we've already pointed out, it is a foreign language. So with that, I just wanted to share one more thing, and that is, let me get here. Well, two more things, right? One is the power of journaling. I am with, and I'm going to do a profit snatcher call in the future because Lewis Barnes and myself are in a trading challenge. And that trading challenge is we've taken $50 because FxRich on, I think, a Live in the Lab or maybe a Coffee and Charts, he talked about going back to the Forex, not the calculator, the Forex calculator, and calculating how much $500 compounded. And so we're actually doing a $500 and a $50 challenge. And let me tell you, that challenge is 3% growth a day. Or 3%, right? Well, we want it to be growth. It can be backward, but 3% a day is your trading goal. And I wasn't really trading I wasn't really journaling. I was just doing what I've got to do. And so I was missing the opportunity to really understand, one, my style, what I was doing, what my habits were, what the results of different things, what I may sabotage. Grading and putting a journal of what you trade, what the percentages. You hear Stina talking about her percentages. The goal is to increase your account 1%, 2%, 3%, whatever your goal is a day. If you don't track that, how do you know you've accomplished it? If you started over trading and being in the market where you're like, I'm gonna get my money back. I can't stop until I win. I can't. Well, that is not the behavior when you're talking about trading, because now you're tracing, you're not tracing, you are chasing the trade. And that is a gambler's mindset. We are not gamblers here. This is not the casino. You are not, you may luck out. I talked to Ron Petty once on Profit Snatchers, and he was like, he lucked out with his success in his trade, but he quickly realized you need to go back and get in those books because he was lucky. And it's great to be lucky, but it's even better to be on purpose and to know what you're doing. I didn't say that you will never have a losing trade, because this is life. But when you have a losing trade, we talk in here in the back office about risk management. FxRich is always talking about risk management. Are you risking 23% of your account? Are you risking 50% of your account? If you don't track your trades and you don't go back and say, oh, wow, oh, I got lucky on that because that stop loss was way more than what my account could have handled, and it would have wiped me out. And so the benefit of journaling and then going back will make you a far better trader than if you're just getting lucky. And so with that, gambler's mindset and the trader's mindset is about gamblers, right? Does anybody know kind of the difference between a gambler's mindset and a trader's mindset? Just one thing, give me one thing that's a trader's mindset versus a gambler's mindset. Can anyone tell me? What does a trader rely on?
Control of his emotions. Control of his emotions.
Controls your emotions. What else?
Calculation.
Analysis. Okay.
And trust your plan.
You first have to have a plan, right? Yeah. Traders have a plan and then they trust that plan.
Yeah.
Right? What about gamblers? What do gamblers do?
Just taking risks.
They take risks, they take chances, unnecessary risks.
They were relying on the luck.
And their emotions run free.
They're driven by emotion and hope. Their emotions just run free. You are not in control as a gambler. The market is in control. As a trader, you are in control. And that is some of the difference. A gambler seeks excitement. You're fun. I recognize that I have some gambler tendencies, which is why I need to have a trading plan and I need to be journaling, because my tendencies can come out and run free, and I've got to stamp those tendencies down. And as someone here said, the discipline of doing what you say you're going to do and putting that plan in action. So we here are trading professionals. We here snatch profits from the market and control our risk because we will exercise traders' mindset when we are on the charts. Say, I will.
I will.
I will.
Absolutely. Hey, Ray,
Absolutely.
This was fun.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
Mindset.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's everything.
I will. Absolutely. What was the rest of it, Diana?
Well, basically that was it, right? We don't want to overwhelm you, right? We don't.
No, you started us on you had us on a pledge. I will. Absolutely.
Oh, I will. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I will.
Absolutely.
Exercise a trader's mindset.
Exercise a trader's mindset.
And be disciplined and focused.
And be
disciplined and focused.
In my risk management.
In my risk management.
All right.
Awesome. Let's get this going.
How many of you say an affirmation every day before you start trading?
I do.
And usually we, instead of saying I will, we usually say I am, right?
I am.
I am.
Okay, because that affirmation is key, guys. And for those of you who are on the early profit snatchers, you know we don't start until somebody says the affirmation, usually here. Okay. All right. We know Skia affirmation by heart now. But the whole idea, guys, that mindset is so important. You want that RAS to be ready to go. So you get up if you don't know, if you don't have a specific trader affirmation, you can pray, you can say, thank you, Lord, help me through this day or whatever. But you want the right part of your trading plan should be a affirmation before you jump on these charts, because you need that RAS. And if you know how that spell, you know, the West Indian in me might come out. You want your RAS to be focused. So I know Tigre.
It's the reticular activated system.
Yes.
Also known as your ass.
Also your ass. you want to activate your ass.
Keep your focus, man.
All right. So hey, you got to remember it somehow. So you say that affirmation. Some of you might think it's corny, but guys, you want to get that mindset right to hit those charts. And you know it should have, I'm a disciplined, patient, profitable trader in there somewhere, because you have to be disciplined to jump on these charts and you have to be patient. All right. So on that note, guys, this was incredible. Back to you, Mr. T. Gray.
Let's give these guys a round of applause. They did that. Absolutely. Great stuff.
Amazing training.
Yes, that was great.
That was fantastic.
Great training.
Yes, it was great training.
Can I add something really valuable?
This was incredible
it was
training
so
today.
good what Diana said. Can I add one thing to her that all of you will benefit from?
Go for
It is that start small with a small account and then build it bit by bit up. Write down your strategy and follow it. Don't go into a trade before you have checked up if I'm following this and this and this points in my trading strategy. Do that and make a journal and journal every single day you're trading.
Very nice. There you go. I mean, Stina, look at that. I mean, she went from day one to, again, just able to share, able to teach, able to code. Look at that. All right, you guys, I hope you had an amazing time. What are we doing next week?
Boot camp.
It's the Halton Bucks.
Boot camps. Man, we had a couple of good times, a couple of good weeks recently where we did the Ask HB. Well, guess what? We're going to get HB for real, the real deal next weekend. So see you guys there. If you don't have a ticket, get yourself a ticket. And we're going to have an absolute blast. Remember, coffee and charts, subscriptions only, and snitches get riches. So can't help myself. I'm so sorry. Miss Tillman, I'm sorry. I apologize. You had to come to flight school and Mark is acting so crazy like he always does. All right, we love you guys. Have an amazing Saturday. We'll see you throughout the week. Somebody asked about the commission payout thing. We are virtually done on that. Just have some internal administrative things to knock out, and we should be back in business. So in any event, you guys have a great week. Keep rocking, and we'll see you at the boot camp next Saturday. And on charts, I'll tell you where we are going to see you. We're going to see you on Bitcoin and Beyond in just a little bit, and then we'll see you on Coffee and Charts during the week. See you, everybody. Rock and roll.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great flight school.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Much value.
Great flight school.
Thank you, FxRich and Diana.
Thank you, Richie Rich.
still working. I promise all the time it's worth it. Made a million out of Sally, and it all turned out perfect. Too many blessings, they coming my way. I need a crib with a pool in a gate. I can't let none of my time go to waste. It ain't a race, but I picked up the pace. I had a lot on my plate. I just want it to be great. It's been a long time, I can't wait. So I had to elevate. I need me the stars in a race. Yeah, it's gonna come, I got faith. Buy it for the low and so when it's high. Know I gotta get the bank when I trade. Elevate, 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 elevate. I had to elevate, get about my comfortable zone. Nobody else gon' do it for me. I had to do it on my own. Yeah, this is the life that I chose. Everything I touch turn to gold. Greatest story ever told. Yeah, I'ma tell them how it go. Hey, yeah, every day I gotta elevate. Show them how it's done, I demonstrate. I'm going up cause I levitate. Put in my all, I dedicate. I just had to find a better way. I stay on my grind like every day. I elevate, I elevate, I elevate. I had a lot on my plate. I just want it to be great. It's been a long time, I can't wait. So I had to elevate. I need me the stars in a race. Yeah, it's gonna come, I got faith. Buy it for the low and so when it's high. Know I gotta get the bank when I trade. Elevate, 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 elevate.